Here's the truth, guys. You have to lock in. You have to. Most of you guys cannot focus. Even me, myself. I remember there was a time in my life where I absolutely could not focus. I absolutely was never locked in on anything. But being able to lock in has brought me all the success I have experienced within the past 10 years. And even now to this day, I'm still locked in, guys. And I remember it was 2015. I was in calculus, which was a very difficult class, and I've never been that good at math. And I was failing the class. I had like a D or something. And in order to pass the class with a C, I literally had to get like a 95 on the exam. And my immediate thought was, I'm gonna drop out of college, enlist in the Air Force, do my 4 years, and then maybe, once I'm a little bit more knowledgeable, more smarter, more mature, I'll go back and finish what I had to do. But then the universe sent me this motivational video on YouTube. I kid you not, I wish I could find this video to this day. But it was just a motivational video talking about the aspect of like locking in and focusing, and how if you actually put your mind to something, you can actually accomplish it. That sparked a new drive in me to actually want to accomplish the goal of getting the 95 on the exam. And I was studying every single day, guys, like literally every single day. And guess what? I ended up getting a 100 on the exam. I ended up passing the class, getting the highest test grade. And after that experience, I was actually more motivated to actually focus and locked in, because that's when I figured out if you put in the work, you can actually get results by just focusing on a singular thing. Now, you probably heard this term monk mode, and it kind of just means the same exact thing. All it really means is having a complete focus towards your goals with no distractions whatsoever. You're taking daily action towards it over a long period of time. And most of you guys are just locked in temporarily or for just a few days before quitting. You kind of go back and forth with yourself, right? And so the first step you have to do is just fully commit. Indecision, guys, is the killer of progress. You can't half commit and expect for results. Today, you have to decide whether or not you are in or out. And in order to actually fully commit, you have to usually experience either a really strong desire or some sort of pain. Going back to the aspect of my test scores back in college, I had a strong desire to do well, because if not, my whole life projection would have changed. Like, keep in mind, if I would have left college and joined the Air Force, enlisted in the Air Force, I would not have started calisthenics. I would not have started this YouTube channel. And that's why the true change comes when you're either sick of where you are or you're deeply excited about where you can be. You have to let that discomfort or passion really push you into action. And then that's when you decide to commit. So you guys who are, overweight, underweight, it's the same exact thing. The reason why you had such a big transformation was the fact that you got tired of being picked on. You got tired of looking in the mirror and not being proud of what was looking back towards you, right? So that's the first step. After that, we pretty much have to set a goal for ourselves. What do we actually want to accomplish? Now, when it comes to locking in or focusing on a particular thing, it could just be one thing, or it could be a multiple of things. You could want to get your fitness right. You could also want to get straight A's this semester if you're in school, or excel and level up in your career. And you could also want to manage your dating life. You can do all these things in tandem at the same time, lock in every aspect of your life. And I believe the most important aspects is going to be the combination between health, wealth, and relationships, those three things. You need to lock in on pretty much all those three areas. You need to find those deficiencies to where you're lacking at and put a complete drive and focus into it. And then once you actually figure out your goals, whatever they may be, you have to fully align your habits with that ideal outcome. So ask yourself, are my current habits getting me closer to my goals or further away? If not, they simply just need to go. Your daily routine should reflect the person you want to become. And that's one thing I've been doing too, right? Like, even with waking up early, going to the gym, doing my early morning workouts, reading, I envisioned the most successful version of myself. What does that person do? Like, simply just actually, what does that person do? And I have to ask myself that. And that person is not diving into vices, doing drugs. That person is not staying up late. That person is on a systemized routine. And every day I have to remind myself, are my habits in congruency with the person I want to become, with that ideal version of myself? What I want you to do is take a look at your habits right now. Think about what you did today. Think about what you did the past week. And think about the highest version of yourself, whatever you want to accomplish. Is he 10% body fat? Is he making at least $100,000 a year? Is he making at least $500,000 a year? Does he have a big social media following? Like, what does that person's day-to-day routine look like? Now, probably one of the most important aspects of locking in, guys, is just fully cutting distractions and vices. I'm not only talking about drugs, porn, social media, things like that. I'm talking about the people in your life too. Some of you guys are in relationships and you have no idea the amount that girl you're with, how she holds you back, but you're allowing her to do it. It's not necessarily her fault. You give in. When she's around with you, you're sleeping in just a little bit longer because you want to cuddle with her and you don't want her to be upset at you if you're getting up early or doing something else, right? Listen, women are going to be upset sometimes, but at the same time, they appreciate it. They appreciate the ambition. They appreciate the work because what you're doing is creating potential for yourself. And that's why if you do have a girl, you got to also make sure that she's supportive and in line with what you want to do. I necessarily wouldn't share your goals with her directly because you should keep that to yourself and just let your actions do the talking. But don't allow women to take you off track, man. Not even just women, though, including your friends. Your friends cannot take you off the path. I'm not saying you can't have a social life because you can balance that within there too. But if your friends' habits also don't align with your total vision, then you have to cut them off also. You have to purely just focus. And sometimes that means being alone, man. Sometimes that means not actually having a social life. Now, one thing I realized that a lot of people who are really focused, who are really locked in, definitely do, is that they live their life with structure. They have routines and schedules. And I've been in phases to where, I'm having no routine. I'm just kind of, even going in the gym, just kind of doing whatever. Or I'm just going to sleep at any time whenever I feel tired. I don't have an eating routine. I just kind of eat whenever I'm hungry. And I've never saw the best results not running a routine. Whenever you run a routine and live by a schedule, whatever that schedule looks like for you, you know exactly what you're doing each day. You plan it, you execute it, you take action every single day. That's how you get ahead. I'm telling you, that's how you get ahead. You have to have a routine for almost everything. If you're trying to lose fat, you need to have an eating routine. If you're trying to build muscle, obviously you need to have a workout routine, something that you can do and progressively overload with. Because structure leads to freedom, and creating a routine also eliminates decision fatigue. And when things are planned out and scheduled, you're less likely to fall off track. Me personally, I planned the next day the night before. I'm looking at my journal right now. I've been doing this for the past 7-8 years. I have a notebook full of tasks that I've done, and I scratch it off whenever I'm done. Some people use Google Calendar where they time block almost every single task. You don't have to go that far. You at least need to know exactly what you're doing so that you can move towards the goal. Now, some of you might say that, routines and schedules is very monotonous, it's very boring. But there's also beauty in things being boring. You don't have to live your life in an unpredictable sort of manner. Routine and structure allows you to know exactly what's going on. And keep in mind, most life is just monotonous anyway. 80% of your life is spent time working. That includes entrepreneurs, business owners. Unless you're retired or unless you came from an inheritance of wealth, most of your time will be filled with working on yourself or in your career. That's just the way society works. You have to be okay with that. Hedonism, diving in vices, always trying to find the next party, trying to escape from life. That shows that you personally don't enjoy what you're doing. You have to learn to really, really enjoy the process. I wake up every single day looking forward to going to the gym. I now wake up looking forward to actually making these videos. Before I was lost, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I felt like I had no purpose in some degree, right? And no purpose leads to distractions, leads to vices because you were bored. And that's the last thing we want to do is be bored. Now, there are going to be times where you're feeling unmotivated. And what you have to do is overall remember your intrinsic big why. You have to write this down. Remind yourself everywhere around your place. Remind yourself constantly, write in your notes, whatever you have to do. And you can find your big why by answering these questions. Why is this important to you? Who do you want to become, and who do you risk disappointing if you don't follow through with this? Whether it's your future self, your family, or proving something to yourself, and keep that why front and center every single day. Now, keep in mind, discipline will always be more important than motivation, but sometimes that motivation actually fuels us, right? So for me, my big why is personal. Your big why is going to be personal. We all have it. Write it down, remember it, and look at it every single day. You also want to try to start slow and build momentum. Don't try to overwhelm yourself by trying to do everything at once. Start small, but be consistent. Focus on building momentum daily over time. This adds up to massive change. And speaking of daily, you need to do a little bit every single day. That's way better than procrastination. You're waiting just a few days to do everything, or maybe you have those bursts of motivation to where you do something, but you're not doing something every single day. Even with studying, there was a point in time where I told myself I need to lock in and I want to make all A's, and I did it. And how I did that was I time blocked study sessions every single day, even if it's just 30 minutes or to an hour. That actually compounds over time. Remember, it's all about the frequency. This includes if you're trying to learn like a handstand, you're trying to get better at writing, the studying example too, you're in school, whatever it may be. Remember, a little bit every day goes a long way. Now, at some points you may feel isolated. You may feel like you're just kind of doing this all yourself. And that's why it may be good to surround yourself with either a mentor or some sort of community, because most of you guys probably aren't around people who want to accomplish the same goals as you. Whenever you're around a mentor community, they'll provide you with guidance, motivation, and also accountability. And there are plenty of resources online. You just gotta find your tribe. But if you want some accountability for myself and my group, I'm building a solid group of professional men who want to really lock in or learning how to present themselves, learning how to actually use social media strategically, improving their dating life, improving their fitness, improving their overall habits, so that way they can be aligned with the highest vision and version of themselves. So if you are interested, I'm gonna leave a link down below, and let me know down below in the comments, what are you personally working on? What are you locking in on right now? Let me know. I want to hear it. Subscribe, like, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. All right, peace.